Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samsita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. We bow again and again to the Devi that resides in each of us as wisdom, as intelligence, as strength, and as consciousness. Namaste and welcome to the Hindu Women's Festival 2021. My name is Vidhu Sharma, and I am the co-editor of the Beyond the Bindi anthology due to publish at the end of this year. Beyond the Bindi is an independent literary initiative brought together by a voluntary group of curious and committed writers keen to explore the depths of Hindu culture. We're not trying to be an authority. We are a group of people who are seeking, also learning, who have questions, who can be often confused at times, who are navigating their own identities amongst a clash of cultures. We know that we live in an increasingly complex and paradoxical world, a world that has reached new heights of technological advancement on one hand, yet continues to be fraught with wars, economic and military wars on the other. A world where many of us have the luxury to sit and work within the comforts of our own homes amid national and global lockdowns, knowing that just a few streets away, there are homeless people struggling with daily survival. We live in a world where the dream of diverse freedom of expression of all people on earth has somehow led us to a clash of cultures where we seem unable to hold contrarian views from one another. People may be more connected than ever before, but our hearts seem worlds apart. So we'd like to ask, how can we, as a thriving, as an empowered community, take this responsibility to fill this gap? At Beyond the Bindi, we have come to understand that societal structures and behaviors are shaped by stories that play out in our personal and community lives. Stories are really important because they're very indicative of how a community sees itself. So what does the Hindu civilization have to offer around the conversation of womanhood and femininity through its stories? Not only do we need to understand these stories, but we ought to question them, especially the dominant ones. Some of these stories are around the vast theme of femininity and womanhood. Now, before we get into what those stories entail, it's worth noting that Hindus account for 15% of the global population, at a staggering 1.2 billion people. We are a diverse community of people. We are a civilization which has been known by many times throughout history, and most notably known as the oldest living civilization. Now, that's not to be taken lightly. What is it about the Hindu civilization that has allowed it to thrive up until the 21st century? My personal exploration into Hindu philosophy has led me to see that we are not a monolithic identity with definitive answers, rules, and authorities. No, we are a commonwealth of vastly diverse cultures and subcultures that are constantly evolving, that can be confusing and contradictory at times, but provide a gray space for nuance. So what do our stories tell us about ourselves? Now, I know many of you, like me, have been using lockdown to watch and rewatch tapes of the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. And for me, it was the first time doing so as an adult. And so there were a great many questions that arose in me that hadn't occurred to me before as I was watching. Questions about the stories of the resilience of Draupadi in the face of adversity, the stories about the persistence of Savitri defeating Yama, the Lord of Death, stories about the commitment of Sita to her duty as a queen and as a wife. There are a great many negative, misunderstood, and stereotypical views about Hindus perpetuated by the media and popular culture. And many of those that capture public attention are the ones that involve women. Arranged marriages, saris, bindis, fertility, death, Bollywood dancing queens, dowry, sati, the list goes on. We seem forced to seek solace in the feminist views espoused by the West without understanding or appreciating the nuances of the Hindu cultural perspective. We've also grown to accept notions of feminism without any critical examination. Is it really the most sustainable and sensible approach to gender and women's issues? Are we really that much more fulfilled and contented by it? Sadhguru famously said that the masculine and the feminine are in complete collaboration. It is only in the human mind that they are in conflict. So by that same token, how much are we ourselves aware? Do we simply seek to showcase and parade our Hindu identity, or really get under the skin and understand it? Do we have forums where we can comfortably talk about controversial and taboo topics? How can we hold a mirror up to ourselves? And so hence the birth of the Hindu Women's Festival. What is the Hindu Women's Festival? Let me start by saying first what it is not. It is not an authority or a finality. It is not a single group of people. And it does not seek to flaunt the Hindu worldview as the only view. But what it is a conversation starter, a beginning. Many people, organizations, individuals, groups coming together on a neutral platform to share ideas, to better understand the Hindu civilizational perspective. The theme of this year's Hindu Women's Festival is Dare to be Different. We know the integral thoughts and value systems of the Hindu philosophy are recognized through its adaptive, diverse, and resilient nature. We are a people who have endured so much, and yet our cultural basis, Dharma, remains intact in our hearts. Though we ourselves as individuals, as a community, as a civilization, still face the same issues as every other community, our inspiration and our intuitive understanding of Dharma sets us apart. And for this, we must dare to be different, to understand and to explain our journey in the discourse of mainstream feminism. We have a jam-packed 5 days ahead planned for you all, with over 30 sessions, panel sessions, and interactive immersive workshops, bringing together over 24 organizations and over 65 thought leaders from around the world. We kick off today within a couple of minutes with our first panel, led by Janvi Dadarkar and Drishti May, on the topic of Dharma and Leadership. Janviji is the CEO of Mayora International and the lead for the governance program at the Institute of Directors. Janviji is a senior M&A integration manager and the former president of the National Hindu Students Forum UK. And they'll be talking about Dharma in the boardroom. Then following that panel, we will hear from Suhag Shukla and Vipasha Surange. Suhagji is the executive director of the Hindu American Foundation. Vipashaji is a communications intern at Apolitical and a coordinator at Youth for Seva. And they together will be exploring the different lenses and biases through which we see empowerment across civilizations, cultures, and geographies. And then our final panel of day one of the Hindu Women's Festival is with Pritesh Patel, co-founder of the British Hindus platform, and Sonal Sher, the director of the Jammu Kashmir Festival. And they'll be explaining the misconceptions and false stereotypes of the ancient science of Tantra. Over the course of the next 5 days, we have a great many panels planned for you with eminent speakers and thought leaders from around the world, including Nitin Sridhar, Sinu Joseph, and Pandit Satish Kumar Sharma. They will be speaking on a variety of topics from menstruation practices, marriage, motherhood, matrutva, the caste system, child development, leadership, sex, sexuality, the Kama Sutra, holistic well-being. We also have 6 interactive panels planned for you across yoga, cooking, writing, fertility, and many more. And I'd just like to invite you to join us throughout the whole festival, right up until the final panel, where I'll be joined by my colleague and the editor-in-chief of Beyond the Bindi, Vibhuti Patel, where we'll be speaking about some publishing opportunities that you can get involved in. As I know, many of you have been messaging to participate in the festival up until now. A big heartfelt thanks to the almost 1,000 of you that have registered to attend this festival over the next 5 days. And if you haven't already done so and you've managed to find a link from somewhere without registering, please do sign up still at thehinduwomen'sfestival.org so that you can be kept up to date and informed on all the publishing and other opportunities that we'll have available to you in the lead up to the anthology at the end of this year. We're extremely active on all social media platforms at Beyond the Bindi. We have a live team managing emails beyondthebindi@gmail.com. If you have any questions or you run into any complications, be sure to reach out to us there. Live links should appear at the end of all videos, so you'll be directed directly to the next panel. We've purposefully left some gaps between panels, so you can still go about your day and join at your own convenience. If you do run into any issues at all, just search Hindu Women's Festival on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and any live panels should appear right at the top. So you should be able to engage with us that way. Thank you so much for joining us over these next 5 days. I hope that the momentum and the Shakti that we managed to generate over these next 5 days really comes through in the anthology that we publish at the end of the year. We have a great team of writers and editors that are really trying to deliver this project with the utmost integrity and tapasya, and really looking forward to hosting this over the next few days. Thank you so much for your participation thus far, and look forward to working with you in the near future. Namaste.